This is my true story. I was abandoned at a gas station by my family, my own children. They told me we were going on a family vacation, said they wanted to spend time together. We stopped at a gas station in the middle of nowhere. I went to the bathroom. When I came out, they were gone. Car gone. My bags gone. Just me standing there alone. 73 years old with nothing. They left a note saying they couldn't afford me anymore. Days later, they saw me on the news, and their faces went white. But you won't believe what happened. Before that, tell us where you're watching from and what time it is there right now. And please subscribe to this channel so that my stories can reach more people. I worked as a mechanic for 30 years. Started when I was 23. Small auto shop on the edge of town. Dirty work. Hard work. Came home every night covered in grease and oil. Hands always cut up. Back always hurting. But it paid the bills. Barely. I made minimum wage for the first 10 years. Eventually worked my way up to slightly above minimum wage. Never got rich. Never even got comfortable. Just survived. But I had 3 kids to feed. 3 kids to raise. So I worked. Worked overtime whenever I could. Worked weekends. Worked holidays. Whatever it took to put food on the table. My wife left when the kids were young. Said she couldn't handle being poor anymore. Said she married me thinking I would be more. Would make more. Would give her more. But I was just a mechanic. Just a working man. So she left. Ran off with some guy who had money. Left me with 3 kids under 10 years old. I raised them alone. Fed them. Clothed them. Took them to school. Helped with homework. Went to parent-teacher conferences. Did everything a parent is supposed to do. Did it on a mechanic's salary. Did it exhausted. Did it alone. But I did it. Because that's what fathers do. I fixed their cars when they got old enough to drive. Taught them how to change oil, how to change a tire, how to check fluids. Basic maintenance. Wanted them to be self-sufficient. Wanted them to save money. My oldest son totaled his first car. I bought him another one. Used car, cheap, but reliable. Fixed it myself. Made sure it ran good. My daughter needed a car for college. I bought her one too. My youngest son wrecked 2 cars before he was 20. I fixed both. Never charged them. Never asked for gas money, just helped. Because that's what family does. I paid for their college. All 3 of them. Took out loans I couldn't afford. Worked extra jobs. Did side work on weekends fixing cars for neighbors, for friends. For anyone who would pay cash. I was drowning in debt, but I didn't care. My kids were getting educated. Getting opportunities I never had. Getting a chance at a better life. That's all that mattered. My oldest son got a business degree. My daughter became a nurse. My youngest son got a degree in marketing. All of them graduated. All of them got good jobs. Better jobs than I ever had. I was proud. So proud. Thought I did something right. Thought I gave them what they needed. I paid for their weddings. All 3 weddings. My oldest son wanted a big wedding. 200 guests. Open bar. Fancy venue. Cost me $20,000. Money I didn't have. I took out another loan. My daughter wanted a destination wedding. In Mexico. Another $15,000. My youngest son had a smaller wedding but still expensive. I paid for all of it. Went deeper into debt. But they were happy. They were starting their lives. Starting their families. I thought that's what mattered. Thought they would remember. Thought they would appreciate. Thought they would take care of me when I got old the way I took care of them. I retired at 68. Had to. My body gave out. Back problems, arthritis. Could barely work anymore. My retirement was a joke. Social Security barely covered rent. I had nothing saved, nothing in the bank. Spent everything on my kids, on their futures. I thought they would help me. Thought they would let me live with one of them. Thought family took care of family. I was wrong. So completely wrong. They had nice houses, good jobs, money. Everything I gave them the opportunity to get. But when I asked for help, they made excuses. Said they were busy. Said they had their own families. Said they couldn't afford it. Couldn't afford it. After everything I did, after every dollar I spent, after every sacrifice, they couldn't afford to help their father, but they could afford nice cars, vacations, big houses. They just couldn't afford me. My oldest son called me 2 months after I asked to move in with one of them. Said he felt bad about saying no. Said he talked to his siblings. Said they wanted to make it up to me. Wanted to do something special. He said they were planning a family vacation, a road trip, all of us together. Me and my 3 kids and their families. Said it would be like old times, quality time together, bonding, making memories. I was so happy, so relieved. Thought maybe they did care. Maybe they just needed time to think. Maybe they realized family was important. So I said yes. Said I would love to go. We planned it for a Saturday. My son said he would pick me up. Said we were driving to the Grand Canyon. Said it would be a week-long trip. Hotels, restaurants, sightseeing. He said don't worry about money. Said they would cover everything. Said this trip was their gift to me. Their way of saying thank you for everything I did. I packed a small bag, some clothes, my medications, my wallet with the little money I had. I was excited. More excited than I'd been in years. Thought I was getting my family back. Thought things were going to be okay. My son picked me up at 8 in the morning. He was alone. Said his wife and kids were meeting us at the first stop. Said my other kids were driving separately. We would all meet up. I got in the car. We drove, talked about nothing important, the weather, traffic, small talk. He seemed nervous, kept checking his phone. I asked if everything was okay. He said yeah. Said he was just coordinating with his siblings, making sure everyone was on schedule. I believed him. Had no reason not to. He was my son, my oldest boy, the one I raised, the one I sacrificed everything for. Why would I doubt him? We drove for 4 hours, into the desert, middle of nowhere, nothing but road and sand and heat. He said we needed to stop for gas. Pulled into a small gas station. Old place. Run down, 2 pumps, small store, only building for miles. He pulled up to the pump, said he needed to fill up, said I should go inside, get some snacks, use the bathroom, stretch my legs. I said okay, got out of the car, went inside. Bought a bottle of water, used the bathroom, took maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15. When I came back outside, the parking lot was empty. His car was gone. I looked around. Thought maybe he moved to a different spot. But no. The lot was completely empty. Just my water bottle in my hand and the sun beating down. I walked around the building. Nothing. Walked to the road. Looked both ways. No car, no traffic, nothing. My heart started pounding, started panicking. Where did he go? Why did he leave? I went back to where the car was parked. That's when I saw it. My phone. Sitting on the curb. Screen cracked. I picked it up. Tried to turn it on. It powered up, but something was wrong. No service. I opened it. The SIM card was gone. Someone removed it. Then I saw the note. Folded piece of paper tucked under the phone. I opened it, read it, and my world ended. The note said we can't afford to take care of you anymore. Said they talked about it and agreed this was best. Said I needed to figure things out on my own. Said they couldn't help me. Said goodbye. That was it. No explanation, no apology, no phone number to call. Just a note telling me I was on my own. My son, my oldest son, the one I put through college. The one whose car I fixed 100 times, the one whose wedding I paid for, left me in the desert, drove away while I was in the bathroom, left me with nothing, no money, no phone, no way to get home, just left me there to die. And his siblings knew. They all knew. They planned it together. My 3 children, the 3 people I loved most in the world, got together and decided to abandon me at a gas station in the middle of the desert, because I was too expensive. Too much of a burden, too inconvenient. So they threw me away. Like I was nothing. Like I never mattered. I stood there holding that note. Read it 5 times. 10 times. Trying to make sense of it. Trying to understand how my children could do this. How they could plan this. How they could look me in the eye that morning and smile and lie and drive me 4 hours into the desert just to abandon me. I looked at my phone. Useless without a SIM card. Looked at the note. The handwriting was my son's. His actual handwriting. He wrote this. Wrote these words telling me to figure it out on my own. After everything. After 30 years of sacrifice. After raising them alone. After going into debt for their education and their weddings and their cars. This was my thank you. Abandonment. A note. A broken phone. And a gas station in the middle of nowhere. I checked my pockets. My wallet was there. Opened it. $43. That's all I had. $43 and no way home. No way to call anyone. No one to call anyway. My children made it clear they didn't want me. I had no other family, no close friends. I was alone. Completely alone. 73 years old, standing in a desert parking lot with $43 and the realization that my own children hated me enough to leave me to die. Because that's what this was. They left me here to die. There was no other explanation. No bus stop nearby, no town for miles, no way for an old man with no money to survive. They knew that. They planned that. I went back inside the gas station, asked the clerk if there was a phone I could use. He said no, said the payphone outside was broken, had been broken for months, asked if he had a charger, something that might work with my phone even without a SIM card. He looked through some drawers, found an old charger. I plugged my phone in. It charged, but still no service. No way to call anyone. No way to get help. The clerk was young, maybe 25. He looked at me with pity, asked if I was okay. I said no. Said I got left here. He said left here. I said my family. They left me. He looked shocked, said that's messed up, man. I said yeah. Yeah, it is. I asked how far to the nearest town. He said about 40 miles west. I asked if there was a bus. He said no bus route out here. I asked about a taxi. He laughed. Not mean, just realistic. Said no taxi comes out here. Too far, too expensive. I asked what people do. He said most people drive. Said this place is just a stop, not a destination. People come, get gas, leave. Nobody stays. I said, well, I'm staying, because I have nowhere to go. He looked uncomfortable. Said he was sorry. Said he didn't know what to tell me. I went back outside, sat on the curb. The sun was setting, temperature dropping. Desert gets cold at night. I had no jacket, no blanket, nothing. Just the clothes on my back. I thought about walking. Thought about trying to walk 40 miles to town. But I was 73. Had bad knees, bad back. Couldn't walk 40 miles. Would die trying. So I just sat there, watching the sky turn dark. Watching cars pass by on the highway. Nobody stopped. Nobody cared. Just an old man sitting at a gas station. Invisible. Forgotten. Abandoned. Night came. Temperature dropped hard. I was shivering. Went back inside. Asked the clerk if I could stay inside. He said no. Said his manager would fire him. Said I could stay outside but not inside. I asked if there was a shelter nearby. He said no. Nothing out here. I asked if he could give me a ride to town when his shift ended. He said he lived the other direction. Said he was sorry. Kept saying he was sorry. But sorry doesn't help. Sorry doesn't change anything. I went back outside. Found a spot behind the building. Out of the wind. Sat down. Leaned against the wall. And cried. Cried harder than I ever cried in my life. Because this was it. This was how I was going to die. Alone. Cold. Abandoned by the people I loved most, the people I gave everything for. This was my reward. This was my ending. I didn't sleep that first night. Too cold. Too scared. Too heartbroken. I just sat behind that gas station shivering and thinking about my children. Thinking about every moment I sacrificed for them. Every extra shift I worked. Every time I went without so they could have. Every time I told them I loved them. And they responded with this, with abandonment, with cruelty, with a note telling me to figure it out. I couldn't understand it, couldn't process how people I raised could be this heartless. But they were, and I was paying the price. Morning came, sun rose, temperature went from freezing to burning within hours. Desert heat is brutal. I was thirsty, hungry, exhausted. I went back inside the gas station, different clerk, older woman. I asked for water. She pointed to the cooler, said $3. I pulled out my wallet, bought a bottle of water, $40 left. I asked if they had any food. She said snacks and hot dogs. I bought a hot dog. $2. $38 left. I sat outside and ate it. Drank half the water. Tried to ration it. Didn't know how long I would be here. Didn't know how long $40 would last. The first clerk came back for his shift that afternoon. Recognized me. Said, "You're still here." I said, "I have nowhere to go." He looked at me with pity again. Went inside. Came back out with a sandwich. Said it was from yesterday. Said they were going to throw it out anyway. I thanked him. Ate it. He asked what I was going to do. I said, "I don't know." He said, "You can't stay here forever." I said, "I know. But I don't have options." He nodded. Went back inside. I sat there watching cars come and go. Watching people fill up their tanks and drive away to wherever they were going. To their families. To their homes. To their lives. And I was stuck. Stuck at a gas station with nothing. Second night was the same as the first. Cold. Miserable. I found a water hose behind the building. Drank from it. Tasted like rust, but it was free. Helped me save money. I was down to $35. Had to make it last. Had to survive somehow. I thought about hitchhiking. Thought about sticking my thumb out and hoping someone would pick me up. But I was old. Dirty. Probably looked dangerous. Nobody would stop for me. And even if they did, where would I go? Back to my apartment. Back to nothing. No family. No money. No future. Maybe staying here was better. Maybe dying here was better than going back to that empty life. Third day, the clerk whose shift was in the afternoon brought me food again. Day-old hot dog, bag of chips, bottle of water. Said he felt bad for me. Said he couldn't imagine his family doing this. I said, "Be grateful. Be grateful you have family that cares." He said, "Don't you have anyone you can call?" I said, "No." Said, "My phone doesn't work." Said, "Even if it did, I have nobody. My kids are the ones who left me here." He said, "That's cold, man. That's really cold." I said, "Yeah." He asked why they did it. I said they couldn't afford to take care of me. He said, "But you're their dad." I said, "Apparently that doesn't matter." Fourth day, I was dying. Not literally, but felt like it. No shower in 4 days. Sleeping outside in the dirt. Eating garbage. Drinking from a hose. I looked in the reflection of a car window. Barely recognized myself. Dirty. Sunburned. Eyes hollow. I looked like a homeless man. Looked like trash. Maybe that's what I was. Maybe my kids were right to throw me away. Maybe I was worthless. Maybe I deserved this. I sat on that curb and gave up. Gave up hoping someone would help. Gave up hoping my kids would come back. Gave up hoping anything would change. Just sat there waiting to die. Waiting for the heat or the cold or the hunger to finish me off. But then the clerk came outside. Walked over to me. Said, "Hey, old man." Held something in his hand. A scratch-off lottery ticket. Said, "Someone left this." Said, "Try your luck. Maybe things will turn around." I took it. Not because I believed in luck, but because I had nothing else to believe in. I held that scratch-off ticket in my dirty hands. Looked at it. Some game with bright colors and big numbers. Prize amounts listed on the front. Top prize $8.7 million. I almost laughed. 8.7 million. Might as well be 8 billion. Might as well be infinity. Nobody wins these things. Especially not old men abandoned in the desert. But the clerk was watching, waiting. He meant well. So I said, "Thank you." He said, "You need something to scratch it with." Handed me a coin. Rusty quarter he found on the ground. I took it. Started scratching. I scratched the first box. Revealed a number. 14. Scratched the second box. Another number. 27. Scratched the third box. 42. The ticket said, "If 3 of your numbers match the winning numbers, you win." I looked at the winning numbers printed at the top, started comparing. 14. Match. My heart skipped, probably coincidence. Scratched more. 27. Match. 2 matches. I stopped. Looked at the clerk. He was watching. Said, "Keep going." I scratched the third winning number. 42. Match. 3 matches. My hands started shaking. I looked at the prize chart. 3 matches wins grand prize. Grand prize $8.7 million. I read it again. Read it 5 times. This couldn't be real. Couldn't be possible. I must be reading it wrong. Must be misunderstanding. I showed it to the clerk. Said, "Does this say what I think it says?" He took the ticket. Looked at it. His eyes went wide. Said, "Holy shit." Said, "Old man, I think you just won $8 million. I said, "That's not possible." He said, "Look, 3 matches. Grand prize. You won. You actually won." I couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. This had to be a mistake. Had to be a joke. Things like this don't happen to people like me. Don't happen to old men abandoned by their families. Don't happen to people dying behind gas stations. But the clerk was sure. Said, "We need to call the lottery office." Said, "We need to verify this." I said, "I don't have a phone." He said, "Use mine." Pulled out his phone. Looked up the lottery commission number. Called them. Put it on speaker. A woman answered. He explained the situation. Said, "We have a scratch-off ticket." Said, "It looks like a winner." She asked for the ticket number. He read it. She asked him to hold. We waited. 2 minutes. 3 minutes. Felt like forever. Then she came back. Said, "Congratulations." Said, "The ticket is valid." Said, "It's a verified winner. $8.7 million before taxes. $5.2 million after taxes." She said they would need to verify in person. Said they could send someone today. Said to wait there. Don't leave. Don't lose the ticket. She hung up. I sat down, actually collapsed onto the curb. The clerk sat next to me. Said, "Dude, you're rich." Said, "You're a millionaire." I said, "I don't understand." Said, 4 days ago my family left me here to die. Left me with nothing. And now this. He said, "That's karma, man." Said, "The universe taking care of you." I said, "I don't believe in karma. Don't believe in the universe. Don't believe in anything. But I'm holding a winning lottery ticket worth $8 million. He said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I don't know." First time someone asked me that question, and I actually had options. Actually had a future. Actually had something other than death waiting for me. 2 hours later, a black SUV pulled into the gas station. 2 people got out, man and woman, both wearing suits, official looking. They walked up to me, asked if I was the ticket holder. I said yes, showed them the ticket. They verified it, checked the numbers, checked the serial code, checked everything. Then they smiled, said, "Congratulations, sir." Said, "You're a winner." They had paperwork, made me sign things, took my picture, asked if I wanted to go public or stay anonymous. I said public. Said, "I want everyone to know, want everyone to see." They said okay. Said the news would pick this up. Said this was a big story. Old man wins millions at a desert gas station. Human interest story. They said cameras would come. Said I should prepare for attention. I said bring them. Bring all of them. Because I wanted my children to see this. Wanted them to turn on the TV and see their father. The father they abandoned. The father they left to die. Holding a check for $8.7 million. The lottery officials took me inside the gas station. Said they needed to process paperwork. Said this would take a few hours. They made phone calls. Verified my identity with my driver's license. Asked about my bank account. I said I have one, but there's nothing in it. They said that's about to change. They explained the process. Said the money would be transferred within 48 hours. Said I would receive $5.2 million after taxes. $5.2 million. More money than I ever dreamed of. More money than I earned in my entire life. More money than I knew what to do with. And it was mine. All mine. While we waited, the news crews arrived. 3 different stations, cameras, reporters. They set up in the parking lot. The lottery officials said this was good publicity for them. Good story. Local man wins big. They asked if I was ready. I said yes. More ready than I'd ever been. They walked me outside. The cameras turned on. Lights in my face. Reporters shouting questions. The lottery officials handed me a giant check. One of those oversized checks you see in photos. $8.7 million written across it. My name on it. I held it up. Smiled for the cameras. Flash after flash. Picture after picture. This moment was being recorded, was being broadcast, and my children were going to see it. The reporters asked questions. Asked how I felt. I said blessed. Asked what I was going to do with the money. I said take care of people who were kind to me. One reporter asked where I was from. I said I don't have a home. I was abandoned here. The reporters looked confused, asked what I meant. I said my family left me here, drove away while I was in the bathroom, left me to die. The mood changed. The reporters smelled a bigger story, started asking more questions. Why did they leave you? Where is your family now? How long were you here? I answered everything, told them the truth, told them my children decided I was too expensive, too much of a burden. So they abandoned me. The cameras kept rolling. This was news now. Not just a lottery win. A human interest story. An old man abandoned by his family wins millions. After the interviews, I found the clerk, the one who gave me the ticket. He was standing by the gas pumps watching everything. I walked over, said I need to thank you. He said you don't owe me anything. Said he just gave me a ticket someone left behind. I said you saved my life. Said without you I would have died here. He said no way, man. Said I just helped a little. I said I'm giving you $100,000. His face went white. Said what? I said you heard me. 100,000 for showing me kindness when I had nothing, for feeding me, for caring, for giving me that ticket. He said he couldn't accept that. I said it's not a question, said the money was already mine, said I could do what I wanted with it, and I wanted to give him $100,000. He started crying, actually crying, said his mom was sick, said he'd been working doubles trying to pay her medical bills, said this would save her. I said good, said that's what money should do, save people, help people, not be hoarded by people who don't need it. The lottery officials said they would process his payment too, said it would come from my winnings. I said fine. Take it out. He hugged me, said thank you over and over. I said no. Thank you. Thank you for being a decent human being. Thank you for showing me that not everyone is cruel, that some people still have hearts. He said he would never forget this. I said me neither. Said this gas station saved my life, and he was part of that. The cameras caught all of it, caught me giving him the money, caught him crying, caught the whole moment, and I knew that video would be everywhere, knew my children would see it, would see me giving away $100,000 to a stranger, to someone who showed me more kindness in 4 days than they showed me in 73 years. The story aired that night on the evening news. All 3 local stations ran it. Desert gas station lottery winner. Old man abandoned by family wins $8.7 million. The footage showed everything. Showed me holding the giant check. Showed me dirty and tired but smiling. Showed me telling the reporters my children left me there. Showed me giving $100,000 to the clerk who helped me. The story went viral. Local news picked it up. Then regional news. Then national news. By midnight it was everywhere. Social media exploded. People sharing the story, commenting. Some saying I was inspiring. Some saying my children were monsters. Some saying it was karma. It was all of those things. My children saw it. All 3 of them. They were sitting at home, living their comfortable lives in their nice houses. Houses I helped them get. Lives I helped them build. They turned on the TV for the evening news. And there I was, their father. The father they abandoned 4 days ago. The father they left to die in the desert. Standing in front of cameras holding a check for $8.7 million. I can only imagine their faces. The shock. The disbelief, the panic, the realization of what they'd done, what they'd lost. They threw away their father, and their father became a millionaire. My oldest son saw it first. His wife called him into the living room, said, "Isn't that your dad?" He looked at the screen, saw me. His mouth fell open. She said, "What is he doing on TV?" He didn't answer, just stared. Watched the whole segment. Watched me tell the reporters they abandoned me. Watched me give money to a stranger. His wife said, "Did you abandon your father?" He tried to lie. Tried to say it was complicated. She said it doesn't look complicated. It looks like you left him at a gas station. Their neighbors saw it. Called them. Asked if that was his father. Asked why he would do that. The shame started immediately. My daughter saw it at a friend's house. They were having dinner. Someone turned on the news. There I was, her father on TV, talking about being abandoned, talking about survival. Her friend said, "Wait, is that your dad?" My daughter went pale, said yes. Her friend said, "You left him." My daughter tried to explain, tried to say I was difficult, that I was too much to handle. Her friend said, "He looks like a sweet old man. Looks like you broke his heart." My daughter left, went home, called her brothers. They were already on the phone with each other, panicking, trying to figure out what to do, trying to figure out how to fix this. My youngest son saw it on social media first. Someone he knew tagged him, said, "Dude, isn't this your dad?" He opened the video, watched it. His coworkers saw it, recognized my last name, connected the dots, started asking questions. Why would you abandon your father? What kind of person does that? He had no answers, no excuses that made sense. He tried to say it was a family decision, that all three of them agreed. That made it worse, made it sound premeditated, made it sound cruel, which it was. His boss called him into the office, said this reflects badly on the company, said they value family, said they were disappointed. My son's reputation was destroyed in hours. All three of them tried to call me. My phone still didn't have a SIM card, but they tried anyway. Left voicemails on a phone that couldn't receive them. They called the lottery office, asked for my contact information, were told no, privacy reasons. They called the gas station, asked for me. The clerk who helped me said he didn't know where I was, said even if he did he wouldn't tell them, said they were terrible people. They tried social media, sent messages, sent emails. I had no social media, had no email they knew about. They were desperate, desperate to reach me, desperate to explain, desperate to apologize. But really, they were desperate for the money, desperate to get back into my life now that I had something they wanted, now that abandoning me was the biggest mistake they ever made. I got a new phone 2 days after winning, bought it with my winnings. New number, new SIM card, new everything. The lottery officials helped me set it up, transferred my old contacts. Suddenly my phone worked again, and immediately it started ringing. My children must have gotten my new number somehow. Maybe from the lottery office, maybe from someone who knew me, doesn't matter. They found it. And they called. All three of them. Over and over. Back-to-back calls. I watched the screen light up. My oldest son's name, my daughter's name, my youngest son's name. Took turns calling. When one gave up, another tried. I let every call go to voicemail. The voicemails filled up fast. I listened to the first few seconds of each one, just enough to know what they were saying. My oldest son said, "Dad, please pick up." Said we need to talk. Said he could explain everything. I deleted it. My daughter said, "Dad, I'm so sorry." Said she made a mistake. Said she loves me. I deleted it. My youngest son said, "Dad, please." Said this is all a misunderstanding. Said they were coming back for me. I deleted it. All lies. All desperate attempts to get back into my life. Not because they loved me, not because they regretted what they did, because I had money now, because abandoning me suddenly looked like a bad investment. More calls came. Their spouses called, my son-in-law, my daughters-in-law, people I barely knew, people who never cared about me before. Suddenly, everyone cared. Everyone wanted to talk. Everyone had something to say. My oldest son's wife left a voicemail. Said she was so sorry this happened. Said she had no idea. Liar. She knew. They all knew. It was planned. My daughter's husband called. Said family should stick together. Said we should work this out. Said money shouldn't come between us. Easy to say now. Where was that attitude 4 days ago when they left me in the desert? I deleted every message. Didn't listen past 5 seconds. Didn't need to hear the excuses, the lies, the fake apologies. Then the grandchildren started calling. Kids I met maybe twice in my life. Kids whose birthdays I sent cards for but never got thank you notes. Kids who didn't know me, didn't care about me. Until now. A teenager left a voicemail. Said, "Hi, Grandpa." Said she heard what happened. Said she always loved me. Always thought about me. Another lie. She didn't know me. Didn't love me. Just wanted money. Just wanted to be in the will. They were already thinking about inheritance. Already planning how to get their hands on my millions. Made me sick. Made me angry. Made me more sure that I made the right decision ignoring them. My oldest son left another voicemail. Different tone this time. Angry. Said I was being unreasonable. Said he was trying to apologize. Said the least I could do was answer the phone. The least I could do. The least he could do was not abandon me in the desert. But he did. And now he was mad that I wouldn't forgive him. Mad that I wouldn't let him back into my life. Mad that he couldn't get his hands on my money. The entitlement was unbelievable. He actually thought he deserved forgiveness, deserved access, deserved anything from me. He deserved nothing. Less than nothing. My daughter sent text messages when I wouldn't answer calls, dozens of texts, said Dad please, said I'm begging you, said we made a mistake, said everyone makes mistakes, said she needed to see me, needed to talk, needed my forgiveness, every text more desperate than the last. I read them, didn't respond, just read them and watched her spiral, watched her realize I wasn't coming back, that she burned the bridge, that there was no fixing this. She sent one final text, said fine. Said if I wanted to throw away my family over money then that's my choice. Trying to flip it, trying to make me the bad guy. I threw away my family. I chose money over them. The projection was incredible. They threw me away. They chose convenience over me. But now that I had money, suddenly I was the one in the wrong. I blocked her number, blocked all their numbers. I was done, completely done. They didn't stop. Blocking their numbers didn't stop them. They found other ways. They showed up, found out where I was staying. I bought a penthouse in the city. Nice building. Security. Doorman. Thought I would be safe. But 2 weeks after I moved in, my oldest son showed up, walked right up to the front desk, asked for me by name. The doorman called up, asked if I was expecting a visitor. I asked who. He said your son. I said I don't have a son. Tell him to leave. The doorman looked confused, but did what I asked. Told my son I wasn't available. My son started yelling, said I was his father, said he had a right to see me. The doorman called security, had him removed. My son stood outside on the sidewalk, looked up at the building, tried to figure out which window was mine. Security made him leave, told him not to come back. My daughter tried next, showed up with my grandchildren, kids I barely knew. She thought bringing them would change my mind, thought I would see the kids and melt. Want to be a grandfather, want to be family. The doorman called, said my daughter was here with children. I said same answer. I don't have a daughter, send her away. She cried in the lobby, made a scene, told the doorman I was being cruel, that she just wanted to talk. That family should forgive. The doorman didn't care, did his job, had her escorted out. She left angry, yelling, saying I would regret this, saying I was making a mistake. But the only mistake was trusting them in the first place. My youngest son tried a different approach. Sent letters, long letters, handwritten, apologizing, explaining, begging. The first letter said he was sorry, said he knew what they did was wrong, said he was weak, said he let his siblings pressure him, said he regretted it every day, said he loved me. Lies. All lies. If he loved me, he wouldn't have driven away, wouldn't have left me in the desert, wouldn't have participated in abandoning me. I threw the letter away. He sent another, then another. I stopped opening them, just threw them in the trash. After the 5th letter, I told the front desk not to accept mail from him. They flagged his name, returned his letters unopened. They tried email. I don't know how they got my email, but they did, sent long messages. My daughter wrote a 5-page email, said she couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't stop thinking about what she did. Said she was in therapy, said her therapist told her she needed to make amends, said she was trying, said please give her a chance. I marked it as spam. My oldest son sent an email, shorter, more direct, said we need to talk about the future, about what happens to the money when I die. There it was, the real reason, the inheritance. He was already planning for my death, already calculating how to get the money. I blocked his email, blocked all their emails. They showed up at restaurants, somehow found out where I was eating. I was having dinner with the lottery official who helped me. Nice place, quiet. Then my oldest son walked in, saw me, walked right over to the table, said, "Dad, we need to talk." I looked at him, said, "I'm calling security." He said, "Please, just listen." I pulled out my phone, called the restaurant manager, said there's someone harassing me. The manager came over. My son tried to explain, tried to say he was my son, tried to say this was a family matter. The manager didn't care, had him removed. My son yelled as they escorted him out, said I was making a mistake, Said he was my blood. Said I couldn't ignore family forever. I could. I would. I did. They hired a lawyer, tried to sue me, claimed elder abuse, claimed I was mentally unfit, claimed they were my caretakers and I owed them compensation. The case was laughed out of court. The judge read the facts, read about them abandoning me, asked their lawyer if he was serious. The lawyer had nothing. The case was dismissed. My children were ordered to stop harassing me, given a restraining order. All three of them, not allowed within 500 feet, couldn't call, couldn't write, couldn't show up. Finally, I had legal protection. Finally, they had to stay away. They lost completely, lost their father, lost $8 million, lost any chance of reconciliation, and it was their own fault. I live a completely different life now, a life I never imagined possible. I travel, been to places I only saw in magazines, Italy, France, Japan, Australia, places I dreamed about but never thought I would see. I stay in nice hotels, eat at nice restaurants, see the world the way people with money do. And every trip I take, I think about that gas station, about sitting in the dirt behind the building thinking I was going to die, about how close I came to giving up. And then I think about the lottery ticket, about the clerk who gave it to me, about how one moment of kindness changed everything. Life is strange that way. 1 minute you're abandoned, next minute you're a millionaire. I donate money, a lot of money, to homeless shelters, to organizations that help elderly people, to food banks, to charities that support people nobody else cares about, people like me, people who got thrown away, people who need help. I give because I know what it's like to have nothing, to be nothing, to feel worthless. And if my money can help someone feel less alone, then it's worth it. I donated $500,000 to a senior center. They named a wing after me. I donated $1 million to a homeless shelter. They send me updates about people they helped, people who got off the streets, got jobs, got their lives back. That matters more than anything else. I think about my children sometimes. Wonder if they learned anything. Wonder if they regret what they did. Not because of the money, but because they lost their father. Because they threw away the person who loved them most, who sacrificed everything for them. I doubt it, though. People like that don't learn, don't change. They just get bitter. Blame everyone else. Play victim. I heard through someone that my oldest son tells people I abandoned them, that I chose money over family. The irony is almost funny. Almost. My daughter tells people I was always difficult, always hard to deal with. Rewriting history to make herself look better. My youngest son doesn't talk about me at all, pretends I don't exist. Maybe that's easier for him. Easier than admitting what he did. I have a new life, new friends, people who like me for me, not for my money, not for what I can give them, just for who I am. I met a woman, nice woman, widow. We have coffee sometimes, talk about our lives, our pasts, our mistakes. She knows about my children, knows what they did, says she's sorry, says that's terrible, says I deserved better. I say yeah, I did. But it's okay now. I'm okay now. Better than okay. I'm happy, actually happy. For the first time in years. Maybe for the first time in my whole life. Happiness that's not tied to other people. Not dependent on my children loving me. Not dependent on being needed. Just happiness that comes from being free. From being myself. From living the life I want. My children are still out there somewhere. Living their lives. Raising their families. Working their jobs. They see my name sometimes. See articles about my donations. See photos of me at charity events. Wonder what could have been. Wonder what they lost. They lost everything. Lost a father who would have given them anything. Who would have loved them unconditionally. Who would have been there for them forever. They traded that for convenience, for not being burdened, for a few years of not having to deal with an old man. And what did they get? Shame. Regret. A reputation as the people who abandoned their father. And the knowledge that somewhere in the world, their father is living a beautiful life without them. A life they can never be part of. A life they don't deserve to be part of. I was abandoned at a gas station by my family, left to die in the desert with nothing but a broken phone and a cruel note. 4 days later, I won $8.7 million, became a millionaire, became successful, became free. My children saw me on the news, saw what they lost, saw what they threw away. And they will spend the rest of their lives knowing they abandoned the only person who ever truly loved them. That's their punishment. That's their consequence. And I sleep peacefully every night knowing I don't owe them forgiveness. Don't owe them anything. I'm finally free. And that's worth more than any amount of money.